Hello students, we have already discussed about Unit 1st and Unit 2nd, that is functional anatomy of female reproduction and functional anatomy of male reproduction in our regular classes. Now we are going to just overlook what we had learned in these two units in short. I am going to start from our first unit, functional anatomy of female reproduction. The first unit was outline and histological structure of female reproductive system in rat and human. In this point, we were focused on human anatomy rather to rat. It is why because our next points are related to the human anatomy than the rat. Even we also did the study of rat reproductive anatomy in brief. The points which are discussed above, that is the female reproductive anatomy or the reproduction, it's a histology that we are going to see. In humans, we know there are different systems which are functioning in our body day-to-day life, where the one important system is the reproductive system. And here in the first slide, I am denoting some points. The first point is reproductive system is consisting of following parts, that is a pair of ovaries, pair of fallopian tubes, pair of uterus, cervix, vagina and the external genitalia, right? So on the next slide we are going to study one by one, that is a pair of ovaries, pair of oviducts, uterus, cervix, vagina. Now here in this diagram we can see one of them, that there is a pair of ovaries, right? So there is a pair of ovaries. Here it is actually. So here are the fallopian tubes, this one and this one, right? Here are the ovaries, this one and this one. These are in the pairs, right? And uterus is the middle part of this reproductive system. And follow this uterus, there is, we can see here there is a cervix, and the last and important region, that is the external genitalia. It consists of vulva like vagina and the mammary glands, right? We are going to the next slide. So now we are going to discuss about the pair of ovaries. So as we know, there are two ovaries in the female reproductive system, right? So the two ovaries are important, and it is why because it produces egg, so which is important. Why? So it measures about 2 to 4 centimeter in length, right? And these ovaries are attached with the abdominal wall by a mesovarium. It is a ligament. It also covered by a cuboidal epithelium. It is called as germinal epithelium. And ovary, it consists of two layers, that is the two portions. The outermost dense portion or dense layer we are called what? It is a cortex, and the less dense portion we are called it as medulla. So where it is actually, let me show you by the highlighter. So I am just taking this green color for denoting the cortex region of this ovary. So this one, it is a cortex region. We can see here there are the different types of follicles growing, right? And the inside to this stroma the middlemost region where other cells or other matter is present, we are calling it as medulla, right? So these are the pair of ovaries which is present in the human female. Now we are going to discuss about the pair of oviducts. We are also calling it as fallopian tubes, right? We are calling it as fallopian tubes. So the fallopian tubes are the muscular tubes. We already know that. We have discussed it in regular classes. So it is just little bit revision. So it measures about 10 to 20 centimeter long. And what's the function of these two fallopian tubes or the oviducts are nothing but it conveys message in the form of the egg, right? So the egg is ovulated from this ovary and it is collected by this fimbriae and it goes inside this fallopian tube and it finally eventually reaches into the uterus, right? So it also provides a appropriate environment for the fertilization. So we know the fertilization is it's a union of gametes. So this fallopian tube having the three important regions, and these important regions having its different functions. So the important region of the fallopian tube which is just near to this ovary, it is nothing but the ampulla. So where it is ampulla, let me show you where the ampulla is present. So ampulla is, sorry, it is not ampulla, it is a infundibulum, right? Here it is a infundibulum, and this infundibulum, it is a funnel shaped structure which is close to the ovary, right? Here it is ovary and having motile finger like projection. We can see here the finger like projection is, here it is, see, okay? These are the what? These are called as fimbriae, right? And next to this infundibulum, there is a long widest part, the long and widest part of the fallopian tube, which serves for the fertilization process. We are calling it as what? It is nothing but the ampulla, right? And the last, which connects to this uterus, is called as the isthmus, and this isthmus I am denoting here by the pink color, right? It is a short and narrow straight part of the fallopian tubes, right? Now we are going to discuss about the uterus or the womb. The diagram is just in incoming slide. So as we know, the uterus, it is a highly elastic, large and specialized for the development of embryo, which is inverted pear shaped. So what is pear? Pear, it is nothing but the fruit which is having this kind of shape. I'm just trying to draw the shape of pear, right? So this is a pear and it is inverted. That means what? It is just we have to draw in upright direction, so we can have an inverted pear shaped structure. We will see in next slide. So this uterus, it is attached to the body wall by a folds of peritoneum, and these peritoneum are called as mesometrium, right? The measurement of this uterus is, it is 8 centimeter long, 5 centimeter wide and 2 centimeter thick. So 8 centimeter long, that means what? This one, this is 8 centimeter long, right? And the 5 centimeter wide, this one, right? And the 2 centimeter thick. That means what? If we are taking just TS of this uterus, we have a layer, and this layer it measures about 2 centimeter thick. The uterus has thick, highly vascular wall, we know, and it having a 3 important layer, which is made up from the peritoneum, one from the smooth muscle, and another from the mucous membrane, right? So the membrane which is formed by the peritoneum, which is the outermost layer, and we are calling it as perimetrium, and the middle it is the myometrium, and the inner is nothing but the endometrium. So endometrium comprises a very different type of cells. These are ciliated cells and the non-ciliated cells. Also it having the tubular glands, because the important function of the uterus is what? To grow or to bear or to nourish the baby, and whatever that growing fetus demands, it must have to supplied by the uterus or the womb, right? So we can see here that clearly what is the fallopian tubes and ovaries, and how the uterus takes place in the reproductive parts. So just little bit I am going to show you where it is actually. So here it is a ovary, right? And here these are the fimbriae, and this is a infundibulum, this one is a ampulla, this one is the isthmus, right? So this important part which is present middle to the reproductive system is called as uterus. So the uterus, the outermost region here, this outermost region we can call it as, which is made up from the peritoneum, we are going to call it as perimetrium, and the inside the perimetrium there is this wall, right? This is a reddish in color, right? So it is called as endometrium. It's a innermost, having the tubular glands and the ciliated and non-ciliated cells, and in between these two layers, that is the endometrium and the perimetrium, there is a myometrium, right? And this myometrium, it is made up from the smooth muscle cells. And here we have already discussed about the mesovarium, and this mesovarium, it is attached to this body wall, and this is the ovary, right? Okay, and just prior we have discussed the uterus, it is connected with the body wall by the peritoneum, or the folds of peritoneum. We have called it as what? Mesometrium, right? Here it is a bigger region. See, this bigger region, it is nothing but what? It is a mesometrium, right? Then in the next slide we know the cervix is the uterus opens into the vagina through a narrow opening, right? So where it is actually, so let me show you where the cervix is located. Here I am just going to take one color to show you. So this part, so cervix is where, this is a cervix, right? And this cervix is nothing but here, which is just beneath to the uterus and up to the vagina. That means vagina having the internal opening, that is nothing but the cervix, and actual opening, it is nothing but what? It is the opening of uterus. Then the important region where the actual intercourse is taking place, and we know it is a vagina, right? So vagina, it is large, it is median also, it is elastic and the muscular too, and it is measures about 7.5 centimeter long. Okay. Then we are going to discuss about the external genitalia of the female reproductive system, that is a important one, which is a vulva, right? So vulva is what? The sides of vulva having two folds, right? So what are these two folds? Let me show you by the green color. Okay, so there are the two folds. That means what? One is a labia minora and another one is a labia majora. So labia minora, it is also called as lesser lips, and labia majora, it is also called as greater lips. So these lesser lips or the labia majora, it is hidden by the hairy folds or hairy lips, and these hairy lips are nothing but these greater lips or the labia majora. So where it is actually located, let me show you this region. I am just highlighting by the pink sketch, right? So this one is nothing but what? It is a labia minora, which is a lesser lip, which is hidden by the hairy lips, and the hairy lips are present here. I am just giving it a green color so you can easily see that these are the what? These are the hairy lips. That is nothing but the labia majora, right? And this is labia minora and this one is labia majora. So there is one important part of the vulva which is present just above. It is the uppermost part. It is just a fleshy elevation. It is a bigger part of the vulva which is outside, which is upper side of the reproductive system, and it is hairy part. We can see here this hairy part, right? So this hairy part, which is just a fatty elevation, we can see easily, and this is nothing but the mons pubis, right? And the important point of this vulva is it is nothing but the clitoris, right? And the clitoris is what? Clitoris is the uppermost angle of vulva, right? It is located here. I am just rounding it. It is a clitoris, and this clitoris, it is sensitive to the touch and the pressure, right? Because why? Because it having the nerve endings for this sensual activity, okay? And this clitoris, it is hooded by, or it is covered by a hood of clitoris. We can see here, it is present here, okay? And it is present just uppermost region of the urethral opening, okay? We can see here is a urethral opening, and the clitoris is just upside to this urethral opening. And the thing which we calling it as hymen, it is nothing but what? It is just a membrane which is present in a virgin girls, and it is just present on the vaginal orifice. Orifice is nothing but the surface of vagina, okay? And the next point, it is crucial for the nurturing of baby. It is nothing but the breasts. Breast, it is also called as mammary glands. These are nothing but the modified sweat glands. That means sweat gland get modified by some sort of evolutionary processes, and it get converted into mammary glands, and it is important for nurturing the baby because it secrete milks, it prepare milks, right? So this female breast having an external projection, we can see here, it is nothing but what? It's a nipple. So nipple, it is surrounded by a circular pigmented area, and this circular pigmented area is nothing but areola. What we are going to call it as, it's a areola. So if we see the breast in anatomically, we will find internally there are the glandular tissues, fibrous tissues and the adipose tissues. We can see here the breasts are just located or just placed on the chest wall, right? We can see here it is a chest wall, right? And there are the ribs 1, 2 and 3, and here it is a pectoral muscle. So these are attached by the pectoral muscles, and this yellowish region what we are seeing right now, it is nothing but the adipose tissues, right? And also this glandular tissue, it is made up from the 50 to 20 lobes in each breast. We know the breasts are 2 in number, so there are the 50 to 20 lobes in each breast, and each lobe is made up of number of lobules. So it look like grape branching. You know, grape is looking like what, right? Here it is a grape-like structure we can find easily, right? So we are going to call it as lobules. So these are the cluster of milk secreting gland, and these are nothing but what we are going to call it as alveoli. So here just a little bit overview of the first point of the first unit, that is a outline of female reproductive anatomy, and just I have shown you a little bit basics of the reproductive system, so you will help better. Okay, thank you.